So today's lesson is on about the range of probability. So what we know about probability so far is the language behind probability. What we talked about is the sample space and how we can find certain outcomes. But today we're really focusing on the range. So what the range is really talking about is probability is a number between 0 and 1. Simple as that. Where 0 is impossible, any number between 0 and 0.5 is unlikely, 0.5 is 50-50 chance, and then any number from 0.5 to 1 is likely, and 1 is certain. Now, the thing about probability is if we list all our sample space, we don't know that each of the sample space have an equal chance of happening, but what we do know is that all of that sample space should equal to 1 when we add all the outcomes together. So what we know is that the probability of selecting a red card is 3 out of 5. And so what we can do is if we have a circle and we split that into 5 pieces, okay, 3 of those pieces are red. What we also know is, therefore, the remaining pieces, 1 out of 10 of them is yellow. And the question is asking, what's the probability of selecting a blue card? Now, what we can actually do is use our calculators to cheat a little bit. Because if we know the probability of red plus the probability of yellow plus the probability of blue equals to 1, what we can type in our calculators to find the probability of blue is just 1 minus 3 over 5 minus 1 over 10. Now, that will equal to 3 out of 10. Now, there is a mathematical way to do this, alright? What we can do is make all these denominators 10. So we start off with 10 out of 10, we're minusing 6 out of 10, and then we minus 1 out of 10 as well to get 3 out of 10. But all you need to know, girls, is in your calculators, this will actually do the trick. And if you get a decimal, which is 0.3, what we just press is the fraction to decimal button. Or on the Casios, it's SD button. Okay, so that's how we solve this first question there. Our next question is talking about a bag containing black, yellow, and white cards. So what we know is the probability of drawing a black card is 57%, the probability of drawing a yellow card is 8%, and we are asked to find the value of the following expressed as a fraction. Now, in your calculators again, what we can do is cheat a little bit, because if we just type 57%, boom, probability of a black card is 57 out of 100. Now your calculator will always simplify this into the nicest fraction possible. So if we type 8% in our calculators, probability of a yellow is 2 out of 25. Okay? Now that's also the same as 8 out of 100, but our calculator has cheated and has given us the right answer. Now to find the remaining probability of white, okay, we can just use our trick like we used in the last example. We had 57 over 100, we take that away. We have 2 over 25, we take that away. And then we end up with 1 minus 57% minus 8%. Our fraction, which is 7 out of 20. Okay. Now again, if we were to use that as a decimal, that would be 0.35, or it's the same as 35 over 100, but we always want to simplify our fractions whenever we can. Okay? So, our next question is talking about a disc being chosen at random from a bag containing 5 different colored discs. Now, just because there are 5 outcomes doesn't mean there is a 1 in 5 chance for all those discs. Alright? We can already see that the probability of a black is 1 in 5, probability of a green is 2 in 13, probability of a pink is 2 in 9, and red is 1 in 6. Now, if we read ahead, eventually we are never asked to find the white disk. Okay, so what we can do is just go straight on to our question. The probability of a black plus green is going to be when we add these fractions up together. Now again, there's several ways you can do this. You can write it as 1 divided by 5 plus 2 divided by 13. Alright, and that just gives us our answer, 23 over 65. Okay. Alternatively, if you want to write it exactly like the question, what we can write is 1 over 5 plus 2 over 13. And again, we end up with the same answer. Okay, so it doesn't really matter which method you're using, because you're going to actually get the same answer in the end. Okay, so let's just do the rest of these a little bit quicker. Probability of pink plus red. Okay, let's add those numbers. 2 over 9 plus 1 over 6. That gives us 7 over 18. Okay, so let's just do the rest. So the probability of a black plus a red disk is going to equal to 11 over 30. The probability of a black, green or pink disk is going to equal to 44 over 117. Probability of a black plus green or red disk is going to equal to 203 over 390. And last but not least, the probability of black, green, pink, and red is 869 over 1170. Okay, so here are all our answers for question 7. You can just double check them. Basically, you're just adding the right probabilities together. Our very last problem is here. So the numbers 1 to 20 are written on separate cards. One card is chosen at random. The probability that the card chosen is a prime number or is divisible by 3. What is the probability? Now, in this case, this is the only example where we can actually go, hang on, our sample space and our chance is actually going to be equal. So the chance of drawing a 1 is the same as drawing a 5, which is the same as drawing a 20, which is the same as drawing any of these numbers. Now, when we're answering this question, the important note is our prime number. Now, basically, for those people who don't know what a prime number is, a prime number is a number divisible by itself and 1. Okay, so some prime numbers include 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, and 19. Now, the reason there are no other prime numbers between 1 and 20 because all the even numbers can be divisible by 2, and then numbers like 9 can be divisible by 3, numbers like 15 can be divisible by 5, and so on and so forth. So here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 numbers, okay? And now we've got to work out the numbers that are divisible by 3. Now, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 are all numbers divisible by 3. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. However, 3 is a number that's up here. Yep, and that's the only number that's doubled up. And so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 numbers here. So 8 plus 5 is 13 out of 20. And so that's the probability of a prime plus divisible by 3. Okay, and that's how we solve these problems.